Edition of the Guam Crimestoppers Report, our weekly segment here at KUAM, allowing you in the community to make a difference and participate in keeping our community safe. With me, of course, is Guam Crimestoppers Coordinator Officer Paul Tapao. Now, before we get into this week's case, I wanted to talk to you first about the Liberation Weekend. We're going to see so many people out there celebrating. I know that you might have some safety tips for the people.
Yeah, it's going to be a long weekend for everybody. Pretty much simple safety tips. Adhere to, the campers and everybody that applied for the spots and everything, the permits. They should adhere to Parks and Recs rules and regulations first. Know when it's time to set up and everything. And that's, I believe it's a Saturday night. We're going to be, GPD is going to be closing off the lane and everything. And the next day, of course, the parade will commence and everything. But, pretty much respect your neighbors, watch for pedestrians and be safe. And it's really, we want to make it safe for everybody to enjoy the festivities, and the best way is just respect everybody down there.
And even if you're not at the parade grounds, if you're out at the carnival and just barbecues that are going to be going on, remember not to, drink and drive.
Yes, that's we want to, remind the general public too that consumption of alcohol during those particular days are really high. So please just designate a driver and just be safe, and everybody can enjoy the day.
All right, good information. Yeah. Now, what do you have for us this week?
Today's crime report is about an armed robbery that occurred at Palms Market in Jigo. On Tuesday, the 11th of June, at about 9:02 p.m., officers from the Dedido Precinct Command responded to a robbery complaint at the Palms Market on Wistic Road, Jigo. According to the police report, the owner of Palms Market was working behind the cash register when an unknown male entered the store brandishing a black gun. He jumped on the top of the counter and began screaming to open the register. As the unknown male was demanding the owner to open the register, the armed suspect discharged a shot from the gun. Fearful for her safety and the safety of the store employees, the store owner immediately complied by opening the register drawers as the armed suspect began emptying out the cash from the cash register. The armed suspect immediately fled on foot in an unknown direction. The armed suspect is only described to be male, possibly Chamorro, wearing a black shirt and a hat, with the suspect's face covered in duct tape. If you have any information about this case, please call the Guam Crimestoppers at 477-HELP or text 688-STOP. You can also visit our webpage at www.guam.crimestoppersweb.com or call the Guam Police Department at 475-8615 6 or 7. Guam Crimestoppers wants to remind the public that we do not use caller ID and you do not have to leave your name. You can receive a cash reward of up to $1,000 if the information provided leads to the arrest and conviction for the person or persons responsible for this crime or any other crime.
Paul, I listened to that report. It just seems like we're starting to see more violent crimes, being perpetrated in our community. Why do you think that is?
It's just, the crimes that people are committing, especially the armed robbery crimes and everything, it is getting violent. It's getting to the point where people are actually using they're arming themselves with firearms and everything. It's hitting that point where I guess, social issues and, of course, the dependencies of illegal drugs and everything. It's just fueling the need and stuff. But with the use of firearms, all our reports, all our armed robbery reports that we've been airing with the Crimestoppers, we've seen the use of firearms, and now we're actually seeing somebody discharging a round or discharging the firearm within the commission of the crime. So it's getting to that point where it's, the violence has actually been increasing with the crime. So we wanted people to be concerned and to understand what's going on out there.
And I know that in our previous reports we've gone over this before, but it's always good to kind of stress what you should do in situations like this.
Yeah. What
should you do if someone comes up and they have a gun and they're trying to rob you?
Immediately comply. I mean, you got to think of safety first. If you're not trained to confront the adversary, just comply. The quicker he's there, the quicker you want him out of there, especially dealing with firearms. You don't know the person's intent. Give them what they want, but try to get a good description of the suspect. It helps. It helps in many ways. Description of the vehicle or his tone of voice, his accent really helps us to determine who the perpetrator is. But just comply.
Well, thank you once again for
Thank you so
coming
much.
in. Remember, you can help take back our community and keep crime off our streets by coming forward if you know information about any of these crimes being perpetrated against our island. If you have any information about this robbery in Jigo or any other crimes, please call Guam Crimestoppers at 477-HELP or text 688-STOP. Thanks for watching and stay safe.